What's going on? Welcome back, everybody. This is Brendan. Welcome to Dad Planet. Another episode of What Sold on eBay video here for, looks like the first week in May, May 1st through the 7th. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Gave myself a haircut. Actually, when I played football in high school, I was the team barber. So I've given a lot of haircuts in my day, myself included. So yeah, shout out to all you salon owners and salon workers that are headed back. I salute you. But yeah, I've been doing it myself for a while now. So yeah, feeling light around the edges here. But anyway, let's get into the sales numbers here. As you can see, 3141 for the week that is. And you know, I feel good about it. I'm sure half of you are like itching to get back into the thrift stores, and then there's like another half of you that are kind of like, I don't want to go touch that dirty stuff for a while now. So if you can hold out, go for it. Hold out. If you're super low on inventory like me, you know, maybe jump back in and just be careful. But I can't complain, although like my listings keep dwindling and dwindling, you know, the sales have stayed steady. So let's get into these 10 bolos that I pull from every week of sales that I find interesting, that I want to pass on to you guys in hopes that you find some of the same stuff. So I've been talking about lawn chairs now for a while. And just last week I sold a pair for $50 to a gentleman locally. I think I featured that in one of my videos. Here's the next set. This is a set of 4. They are Sun Terrace webbed lawn chairs, aluminum, so they're very, very light. I feel like I was maybe $2 into each chair, so 8 for the entire lot, and I've held on to them for quite a long time. I've had them for a while. So springtime, you know, going into summer, I knew they would sell. And actually I had to switch. I had them on shipping priority, but the cost was insane. So I switched to FedEx Ground, I believe. And then that made the shipping a little bit better, but the buyer paid full price. They paid $114.99 for this entire set. They also paid $67.23 in shipping, even after the switch. So crazy numbers, $10.06 in tax. So they're $192.28 all in, and again, I only paid $8 for them. Condition-wise, they were fantastic. They were clean. 'Tis the season, so this is one of those items, again, where you get into your stores and buy them up, because the aluminum ones sell well, the ones with the wood armrests, those sell well. The like full-length beach chairs, those will sell well, especially if they are vintage. So get on it now for sure. Easy money. And the thrift stores aren't going to go charging you, you know, $9.99, $19.99 for a single lawn chair. It's just not going to happen. If they are, leave me a comment, because that's astronomical, that's outrageous, and that's a tragedy if you're suffering those types of prices in your thrift stores. But this is one of those items that are just most often not going to overprice. So I was happy with that sale at the end of the day. And we'll go on to the next one. I'm going to link below in the description the video I just did on McDonald's bolos. Please watch that. This one is included in it, but there are 3 or 4 other ones that are really, really interesting that you're going to find throughout the course of your sourcing. So this one here is the 1989 drive-through version, although on the original box it was just the McDonald's restaurant. They didn't have drive-through, but for keyword purposes, use drive-through in your listing. And I undersold this. You'll see in the video I talk a little bit more about it, but this was, I think, maybe 1 or 2 of the only ones at the time that was listed for this particular model. There's another one that's like got the golden arches on the top of it, but I did sell this one for full price, $199.99, and they paid $48.29 in shipping, and then $15.52 in tax. So all in, they're $263.80. I paid $50 for this on Facebook Marketplace, and it should be noted that this was a first-time buyer, so their feedback was 0. So don't be afraid to sell to those folks, and watch the video, because I show you how you should price this one, and like maybe the mistake that I made in the future. So again, these ones will turn up. McDonald's, there's, you know, a lot of the vintage stuff sells very, very well. I encourage you to watch that video below after this video, so please tune into that one as well. All right, next one. I haven't been selling a whole lot of shoes lately because I just don't have a lot of shoes to sell. Shoes represented at one point 25 to 30% of all of my active listings. In fact, when I was selling Amazon FBA, I was primarily shoes and clothing. and just doing huge numbers. So yeah, my shoe sales are a little bit low. Maybe it's relative to the amount of listings I have. But anyway, this was a good find. I paid $4.29 for these at a Goodwill, and let me see what they sold for. They sold for $60. So somebody sent me an offer and I accepted that, and then $14.90 they paid in shipping. So they're $74.90 all in. And again, I paid $4.29 for these. They weren't the cleanest shoes. I want to show you a picture of the soles. The soles have good tread, but I didn't bother really doing a whole lot of cleaning of this particular version of these Air Max 90s. So one of the things you're going to want to pay attention to when you're sourcing Air Max is the air pockets. Sometimes they will have holes in them, and that will slow sales considerably, even though they don't necessarily have that much of an effect on your bounce. It's a problem because, you know, people do stuff like mow their lawn in their shoes and stuff gets in the cracks, and, you know, it starts to like bubble, and I mean, it just, you know, you really have to pay attention to that when you're in store. So press your finger on the air pockets, make sure they're still like totally full, and then you're good to go. So this was a good pair, and I held on to them for probably three or 4 months, but they are gone. Money made. All right, next one. I think the gentleman's name is Matt from Part-Time Pickers. He sells a lot of these vintage Sevalor, old school like pool floats. I happened upon I think one of his videos, and then, you know, I kept my eye out for them, and sure enough, this was misplaced in one of the smaller Goodwills that I frequent. They had $4.99 on it, and I promise you, as God is my witness, this would have been $1.99, but it's heavy. A lot of times, if they are getting lazy price-wise and they just want to move stuff out, they will price on the higher side just because an item is heavy. So this was priced $4.99, and not that I'm complaining at the end of the day, but you know, I've seen plenty of these things before I knew that they were an actual bolo that were priced much lower. So, you know, what can I tell you? But look out for, is it Sevalor? Sevalor, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but the old school Sevalor floats and pool related items, they really do sell well. So I held on to this maybe for 2 or 3 months and then took an offer of $47. So $47, $11.55 they paid to have it shipped, and $4.68 all in tax-wise, so $63.23, and again, $4.99 was my price. I did remove it from the bag, but I didn't take it out of the plastic. I mean, it was brand new. Buyer left me really good feedback, so I know that they were happy at the end of the day. And you know, where are you going to find these most often right now? I feel like you'll probably find these at garage sales, maybe more so than you'll see them at Goodwills. But keep your eye out for them, because, you know, here's even more proof that that they do really well. So, good one. Okay, the next one. Now this isn't the most exciting bolo on planet Earth. Okay, so Brahma, the style is black iron tough right here. I've had these shoes for I think the better part of 2 years. The listing went down all the way down to like $8, and they still weren't selling. Throughout the course of trying to like revitalize some of my dead listings, especially during quarantine when, you know, items were hard to acquire, or harder to acquire since thrift stores were closed, I went in and redid the pictures on this boot. Okay, so it's a steel toe boot. The things I like about it were it was steel toe, it was a size 12, it was extra wide, but the old listing was really bad. It just goes to show you kind of how far I've come in my sourcing journey, my photograph journey, my listing description, all of those things. So even I have room to improve. So I redid the pictures. They were really dark the first time. I took them inside. There were shadows everywhere. It was just a bad listing. Redid the title, and then I redid the description. And sure enough, maybe a month after I redid this, they sold for $19.99. Now, would I source these again in store? I paid $4.99 for them, so I don't think that I would be purchasing these. Maybe if it was like a size 13 or a size 14 and they were still extra wide, like I would take a second look. But it's not necessarily an item I would source anymore. So the lesson here is go into your old stuff and fix them. Like redo your pictures, add more keywords to your descriptions. It really does work. So these could have sold for $8. But they ended up selling for 20. So they paid 20 bucks, 12.25 to ship, and then $1.29 in tax. So they're 33.53 all in. And again, I only paid $4.99 for the shoes. Good looking soles, and you know, somebody's happy at the end of the day. Those aren't even the original insoles. Those are like Dr. Scholl's, I think. I don't remember exactly, but they're gone. So fix your old stuff. That helps. Okay, the next one. So this is a marketplace find. I paid $25 for it. 25 bucks I paid for this Ronco 5000. This is absolutely a bolo. So check marketplace. You know, your flea markets of the world are going to have these. This one was in okay condition. I cleaned it up a little bit, but it worked just fine. And yeah, it sold for full price, $149.99. Buyer paid $27.60 to have it shipped. So they're $177.59 all in. Again, the bolo here is Ronco 5000. It's just a rotisserie, but they're not as easy to come by. I think this is probably discontinued by the manufacturer, and I could be wrong there, but you know, summertime is coming up, spring and summer, and I think the trend here is people are going to be cooking more at home for sure, at least in the for the short-term foreseeable future as restaurants start to normalize, and you know, hopefully we don't have a spike in like a major spike in coronavirus cases, which would again scare people from, you know, going to restaurants for fear of contracting the virus. So these things are going to stay in demand for a while, so be on the lookout for them for sure. This is the classic case of me not having a clue what something is, okay? So it's the wall faucet, and I paid $1.99 for it at a Goodwill. I did the comps on my phone and realized that there had been one other sale for around $100 or something like that. So not knowing anything else about these, it appeared to be brand new, even though I have it marked used. I held onto it for maybe 3 months or so, but it did finally sell for full price, $124.99, $10.55 in shipping, so they're $135.54 all in. Again, $1.99, $2.99 at the most. I paid for this item here, and I still know nothing about it, so I don't have anything to teach you other than, you know, use the data to your advantage, and I certainly did. So this was a huge return on an item I know nothing about and really didn't spend a whole lot of time learning about. I just looked for a comparable sale, and if there was one, I followed through with mine, and yeah, it sold. Took a little bit of time, but I'm happy with that at the end of the day, so good sale. Okay, so in keeping with the we're going to cook more at home theme, if you have noticed lately, like I have, for the past month or so, flour, regular flour, like bleached flour, has been harder to come by. Packets of yeast, also very hard to come by in the stores because people are cooking more at home. So I personally have been sourcing way more bread machines than I otherwise normally would. I can guarantee you when the thrift stores open back up, you are going to find bread makers. Buy them. Do the comps, but purchase them. This trend is going to continue. So bread makers are going to command a premium price with the shortages that we are still realizing in the grocery stores. So this particular model is obviously a very, very good bolo. SD-YD250 is the model on this. And honestly, this was used. It like wasn't, I mean, it looks clean from the images. I had to clean it out a little bit, but it wasn't, you know, outside of that looks, you know, that's a great picture. It wasn't absolutely pristine, but this one was hard to come by. So I paid $20 for this on Facebook Marketplace, and it sold for full price, $169.99. The buyer paid $91.20 to have this shipped. That is crazy talk. And then $13.17 in tax. So they're $274.36 all in. And again, I'm $20 into it. Bread makers, most of them, look them up. I just listed one right now for $100 that I picked up on Marketplace today. So keep going with that theme and that trend. That's another thing. Like when you're in stores and you're noticing, you know, things are low, put the pieces of the puzzle together, right? And so that's all I'm doing is, oh, okay, well, you know, I want to make bread at home too. I can't find these things. So there's clearly a demand for these items. So get out and source them for sure. Okay, This was free. It was listed for free on Facebook Marketplace. I reached out to the lady within 5 or 10 minutes, went and picked it up, listed it, and within a week or two it sold for full asking price, $59.99. I'm sorry, yeah, $59.99, $14.97 to have it shipped, and $5.43 in tax. So they are $80.39 all in. Buy cost was $0. Model number here, GOJ-12312. Admiral is not a brand I am familiar with, but TV, VHS, TV, VCR, combo, television players, the smaller ones, they're excellent for gamers. They're great in dorm rooms. They're like, some people even keep them in their kitchens, to be honest. So source them for sure. Marketplace, you're going to find these at garage sales too. I feel like the Goodwills of the world and the thrift stores of the world, some are catching on, some are clearly not. So pay attention when you're in the thrift stores for these as well. But they turn up frequently, not necessarily for free, but they turn up frequently for cheap on Marketplace, Craigslist, and that stuff. So keep your eye out for that. This thing worked fine. It did not come with the remote, but did I do a video on it? Yeah, I did a video of the machine working. So yeah. Okay, and the last one. Now, if you look at my current active listings, I have a Fisher-Price Loving Family Home for the Holidays house that was, I believe, a Toys R Us exclusive. So I have it listed for $250 with all of the accessories included. This was part of that, but it kind of didn't go with the home, so I parted it out because I saw that there was like value in the lot. That home, all of the accessories, and then this car all together I paid $30 for. So this sold for full price, $30, $10.90 they paid to have it shipped, and then $327 in tax. So they're $44.16 all in. And I mean, this one sale paid for that entire lot. It makes sounds, the horn honks too, it makes a few different sounds. It worked wonderful. The batteries that were in it worked fine, and the battery compartment was clean. So I just offered that also up to the seller, so it would be working upon arrival. No need to go and buy batteries. And this is a bolo for sure. This particular minivan, there's a couple of different colors. Like there's a gray one, there might be a white one. I don't remember exactly. Maybe a pink one. But the Fisher-Price Loving Family line in general is a bolo. So if you're bored and you want to do some research on it, look for Fisher-Price Loving Family items, and you'll see there's good money in them. So this was a nice sale. It sold in like a couple of days for full asking price. So good stuff, and that's all I have for you. Hope everybody's doing well. Next week is like back to regular sourcing for a lot of people. So let me know what your plan is. Leave me a comment, and yeah, let me know if you're planning on going out, if you feel like it's safe, or you're gonna like pump the brakes for another month or so. I'm trying my best to hold out until June, but I don't really know. Some days on Marketplace, which is primarily where I'm sourcing currently, I'm not doing auctions. I'm not doing there's not really any garage sales or estate sales to go to, and that's kind of the same thing as thrift stores, where I just don't want to be there yet. And my mind might change, but with sales where they're at, you won't hear me complaining. So give me a like down there, leave me a comment, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Like, I got a lot more coming, so please do that. But I appreciate your time here. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next video.